Welcome back, gentlemen. Just got finished with the gym. Ended up actually doing a little slight workout. Was feeling good, so I went and did some upper body legs, and then just hit the treadmill and the stair stepper for 15 minutes each. So longer than expected, but feels good. And I had some good thoughts while I was at the gym, so I wanted to share them with you. But the reason I didn't upload the other video is I shot the previous video in cinematic and realized I wasn't able to download it to YouTube. So I looked it up. It's saying that I need to have a better Wi-Fi connection. So the gym Wi-Fi isn't that great. So hopefully when I get home, I'll be able to upload the video I made before I went to the gym. But that's a learning lesson. See as we go. So don't record in cinematic, and we'll find out even if I'm able to upload that video later today. So you guys will find out. If there's no video before this one, that means that video I just scratched. I'll try to recreate the learning lesson that I had in there. But today, guys, when I was at the gym, I began to think about my journey, and I realized that the way you show up when you're tired or on the days off is a moment where you can really reflect and see your true nature, what you're really made out of. So, for example, in fitness journey, right, in that discourse, your weekdays, which is kind of like 5 days, but a lot of people treat Friday nights, Saturday, and Sunday as the weekends, and because you got 7 days in a week and you got three days that are weekends, a lot of people destroy all the hard work and effort that they put in the 4 days because they relaxed on the weekends. The weekend is roughly, I was in like 30, past 33% of your past 33% of your week. That's a lot. And if you screw up your weekends by binge eating and not tracking and not exercising, not getting your sleep in, not doing all the things that you do on a weekday, you can uh, do a lot of damage to your long-term results. For example, if your goal is to lose a pound of pure fat, right? Build muscle and lose pure fat 1 pound a week, and you basically goof off on the weekend and Friday nights and not hit your calorie deficit. Those 3 days will impact by 30, just say 33%, right? That's a third of a that's a third of a pound of fat. Multiply that over 6 weeks. That's 2 pounds of pure fat that you lost because you did not treat the weekends and Friday nights like the weekday. And you got to drill. And something I drilled into my head is that the weekends is just another Monday. It's another Tuesday. It's another Thursday. It's another Wednesday. It's just another weekday. You need to see your weekends as your weekday. You still have to put in the work. It's not a day to relax. There's a difference between relaxing and resting. When we are intentional with our life, we set times to rest. And during that rest, we relax. It can't be just unintentionally planned. Your rest days need to also be planned. They're part of growth. God created and He rested. And if God did that, we definitely need to do that as well. But I wanted to extend that conversation into the way our identities, the way we express ourselves, is that when under stress and when we're tired, what happens is our conscious mind, we are less conscious, and our subconscious mind, that we're most of the time unconscious of, begins to take over. And a lot of people have unhealthy habits that they're just unaware of. And when you become more aware of your actions, or begin to try to observe your actions more often, what happens is you begin to see, like, oh, where did I pick up that habit? Or why am I doing this? When you're tired and unmotivated or stressed out, you begin to default into who you really are behind the scenes, because you're not really consciously trying to dictate and be and perform, right? You're actually entering a state of your being. This is your unconscious programming that takes over. And that's where your real identity begins to come out. So don't judge and condemn yourself for your unhealthy habits, but see these as moments of seeing your subconscious mind at work. Because especially if you don't meditate and intentionally enter the subconscious mind with your awareness to observe, these are precious moments. These are rare moments for you. that when you're tired and your subconscious mind starts kicking in, don't judge and condemn it, because what you want to see with your awareness, you want to treat your conscious mind and subconscious mind as two different identities. They're one, but you want to, when you are in your observation state via awareness, you want to treat them different. You want to treat them as two different people, right? So do not judge, do not condemn your subconscious mind. Christ taught that, and don't do that. Don't judge your neighbor, don't judge yourself. You do not have the right to do that. You don't have the right to condemn yourself. The alternative, right, is that you need to forgive yourself. You're going to have to show yourself mercy, right? By doing this, you actually open up the door to figure out, what false belief do I have about myself or about life that enabled or allowed this behavior to enter into my subconscious mind, that allowed this kind of behavior and habits to form in my life. So see this as a moment for introspection, a moment to see unhealthy beliefs and to supplant them and intentionally wire in healthy thoughts. So don't beat yourself up about it, because the way you see those as opportunities for transformation, opportunities to change the direction of your life. We all make mistakes. We all fail. We're all human. The scripture says, the righteous man will fall 7 times, but he will rise back up. Why? Is because he knows his worth. What one is based on God's nature and God's character. His value is based on who God is. It's not based on what he does. So he's internally always going to get back up. But on the path of getting to know who we are by discovering who God is, we stumble, we fall, we get enticed, we fall into our traps, our vices. But that resistance is there for us to grow, to know how to apply discipline, to know how to remain focused. Right? When you really think about it, because God is infinite and he's eternal, and our consciousness and our body is subjected to time, we're experiencing the infinite through growth, through continuous growth. So while our stay on earth, our identity, our core true identity is, I am continuous growth. To experience the divine, to experience the divine and to have a relationship with God, you're continuously growing because he is infinite. When you're growing, you're getting to know that which is eternal while being in a temporary state. When you're stagnant and you're not growing, those are signs that you are not experiencing the divine. You're not experiencing the eternal. You're not experiencing the infinite of God. And that needs to show blinkers that if you're feeling stuck, it's because you're not connected to the divine. When you're growing, you're connected to the divine. So figure out, and that causes us to, if we want a relationship with God, that means we have to seek out resistance, discomfort, because those are areas we grow in. And how do we define resistance, right? How do we define discomfort, right? We're not talking about putting yourself in bad situations. There's a meaning behind this, right? The meaning or the intention is that I am purposely going to become a more loving person. And how do we do that? We're going to forgive. We're going to forgive ourselves. We're going to ask for forgiveness. We're going to show ourselves mercy. We're going to show other people's mercy. We're going to be gracious to ourselves, and we're going to be gracious to our neighbors and people around us. That's how we become a more loving person. Not the alternative, but the other one is that we attack fear. We find out areas that we fear in life. We do not allow fear to dictate our behavior. Fear of rejection. We can't allow that to determine the way we act. Any type of fear, any feeling of unworthiness, any feeling of inadequacy is our enemy. And you have to attack it. The best way to attack inadequacy is love. Right? It says love casts out fear. because fear deals with rejection and punishment. But if you show yourself mercy, forgiveness, and grace, guess what? Fear disappears. You're no longer operating in fear. You're no longer worshiping the devil when you're allowing fear, inadequacy, low self-esteem, jealousy, anger, pride dictate your behavior and how you see yourself and how you see others. This is growth. This is resistance. This is the proper form of resistance. So be bold, be courageous. God is with you. He believes in you. He desires you to be reconciled with Him. In other words, He desires you to share the same nature as Him, to be absolute love. Isn't it love that we're all seeking for? But imagine if you just don't get love. God had a greater plan. He said, I'm not just going to give you what you want. I'm going to allow you to become what you want. That's mind-blowing. When it says through the precious promises of Christ, we are able to partake in His divine nature and godliness. He didn't just give you what you wanted, guys. He allowed you to become one with Him. One with love. So the thing that you're seeking, right, through the world, through meditation, you're able to become. You become what you desire. You became what you seeked. You are the thing you're looking for. And that hence what God's true name is, Yahweh. I am. I am is the truth. The self-realization that you're one with God, that you are loved, is the end destination. And it's also the beginning. It's eternal. Your eternal, immortal identity is I am